Hello, everyone. My guest today is Sean Hoban. He has over 25 years experience in the IT consultancy space, working for Oracle and Logica CMG, as well as startup consultancies. Sean, along with Mark Robinson and David Scott, co-founded Kimble in 2010, and now he has the role of Kimble CEO. Sean, are you ready to take us to the top?
I am indeed.
All right. So what is Kimble and how do you guys make money?
So Kimble's a professional service automation software solution focused on organization where people are their main asset. So they're typically delivering projects or managed services, and they're charging for that. And they're either pure play consulting type firms or they're services firms embedded in usually a high tech type organization.
Okay, but what kind of revenue stream are you looking at? Are you a pure play SaaS company?
We are a pure play SaaS. So it's a recurring revenue model on a per user basis is our model.
Okay, per user basis, great. And give me a general sense, the average customer is going to pay you about what per month to use the platform?
So on average, our average customer is about 250 users, and they're spending about $50,000 plus a year on that.
Okay, so 2,500 users. Can you name any?
Sorry, 250 users on average.
Got it.
On average, but ranging from people with 20 users to upwards of 6,000 users. So our largest customer's got over 6,000 users on the platform.
And a user is a team member inside of that agency?
Yeah, it could be a consultant that's just effectively doing time and expense. It could be a project manager. It could be somebody in finance that's raising invoices. It could be a resourcing manager, or it could be somebody in the sales side of the business.
So what is someone paying you though that has 6,000 users look like? Is that like a massive agency?
A massive consulting firm. Yeah, so an IT services consulting firm. So think of some of the big ones like Task Consulting, Wipro, or Deloitte, Accenture, those sort of organizations. They're consulting firms where they've got a lot of people.
Yep. Okay, that makes good sense. And then put all this on a timeline for me. When did you launch the company?
We launched the company in November 2010. So we're just over 8 years old now. And we've got nearly 60,000 users on the platform now. Okay,
and what does that mean in terms of total logos paying you?
So that is about 220 logos.
220. Okay, that's great. Now, can I take the 220 times that $50,000 ACV? You guys are doing what about they're pushing $1 million a month almost.
Yeah.
Or getting close to it.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, you think you'll pass it in the next month or two?
Yeah, in terms of dollars, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So this year, total revenue, so that includes a little bit of services, we'll do, I'm just converting it into dollars now, about $25 million plus, $25 to $30 million plus this year revenues.
And what percent of that will be pure play SaaS?
75 to 80% SaaS.
Pure SaaS, that's great. And now take me back a year. So in, call it March of 2018, how much were you doing per month? Do you remember?
So we did in finishing 2017, we were doing in dollar terms about $12 million. So we're growing at we'll grow about 50% this year. So we're growing at about that sort of 40 to 50% year on year.
Okay. So you said 2017, you did 15 million or 2018?
So 2017, we did, I'm just converting it into dollars, about 12 to $15 million. Yeah, and last year, then another 40% on top of that. And again, we'll do another 40% this year.
Got it. So you did about 18 in 2018, and then you'll do north of 25 this year.
Correct.
That's great. That's healthy growth. Where's most of that growth come from? Adding new logos or upselling historical ones?
Mainly adding new logos, but we get a good expansion from our existing customers. So if you think about our customers, if they're growing, they're buying more licenses from us. So the consulting firms or the IT services or the technology firms, if they're growing, they're needing more users.
Yep.
So we get about 10% expansion, and then the rest is new logos.
Okay, so you got 10% expansion on your historical cohorts. What's gross revenue churn on that same cohort?
About 6%.
Okay, so net revenue 104?
Correct.
That's great. And those are both annual numbers, right?
Correct.
That's wonderful. Okay, let's take you back to like day one. How did you get the first 10 customers?
So we're on the Salesforce platform. So we're an ISV on the Salesforce platform. So we started developing functionality before we had a fully launched product, but we'd be out selling some of the features that we developed and taking people on a journey and a dream. Our old background was we ran a consulting firm. So we knew the problems that they were trying to solve. So we were painting a vision of, do you want something that can solve those problems? Show them a bit of it. And then we got a product, first MVP product out just after 6 months, and had paying customers pretty much ready to go when the software was security checked by Salesforce. So we've been selling.
Quantify the agency for me. So like how many customers had you had, and what was like total revenue in your best year?
You mean new customers? Or in that
No. I'm just curious. You use the agency to get the idea to then subsidize building the software prototype. So I'm curious, how large? Like, how large was the agency before you moved away from it?
No. They didn't subsidize it. We did angel funding that was there, but we were going out selling to people that we thought ultimately would buy it before we got the product ready to launch.
Okay, so just to be clear, in 2010, what were you doing before this? If it's not an agency, what were you doing?
Running a consulting firm. Firm up until 2010. Yeah.
Okay, so consulting firm, agency, same thing. Point is, a bunch of those customers from the consulting firm became customers on the SaaS product.
Completely different from from who I used to work for, though. There were people that either people we competed with or people that were out in the marketplace, but we were networking around our old industry, saying, we know the sort of problems you're going to have. Do you need a product like this? And we'd be selling to them. Some people we knew because we just knew people in the industry, but we'd be selling them the solution we knew that would solve their problem. But they didn't fund the product at all in any way. That was done with angel investment from day one.
How much have you raised to date?
We did a round back in March last year for private equity with KKR. But before that, we did 4.2 million sterling, so about just under $6 million. And then last year we did about 9 million pounds. So that's about 12 million growth investment from KKR.
Okay, so 18 million total in the company. Did KKR buy more than 50% of the company?
No, they're a minority.
Okay, that's rare. Usually they're doing 60, 70, 80% kind of deals. So it was really more like a growth equity round. They bought like 10, 20, 30%.
Correct.
Interesting. Yeah. Why does this business need capital?
We are investing in sales and marketing ahead of the revenues coming in and the cash coming in. So we can get to a cash neutral position fairly quickly, but it's a rule of 40. I'm sure you're familiar with the rule of 40 in SaaS. How hard you want to grow, you need cash to accelerate that growth. So if you want to invest in sales and marketing ahead of getting the sales, that's when you need the cash.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows too. So rule of 40 is essentially you add your growth rate plus your EBITDA margin, and you can and I recommend you do the most conservative EBITDA margin. So include all the expenses. Don't keep anything out. So exactly. Are you operating around that right now, Sean? You're north of R40.
Yeah, we're around 40 this year. We dipped a bit last year because we invested heavily. The year before that, we were running at about 42.
Okay, that's pretty healthy. Yeah. Now, I imagine none of that is coming from the EBITDA contribution. It's all coming from growth.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, because you've raised so much, right? So how aggressive are you being with burn right now? Are you burning like 500 grand a month, 100 grand a month? Where are you?
We're really ratcheting back on the burn. We invested last year heavily, but now the burn's slowing down. So we think by the end of this year we'll be cash neutral.
Okay.
On a monthly basis.
And what are you at now? Just how in the red?
We're comfortable.
Okay. Give me. I understand. You don't want to give an exact number. What's a range? Is like 100 grand a month burn fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
In that range. Okay. So the reason I'm asking is, you think over the next 6 to 12 months you will be able to more than cover that by driving growth to get to neutral?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's a factor of scale. So purely, as long as you're not churning, your renewals are coming in. It's giving you a bigger and bigger base of cash coming in, and so your sales and marketing becomes less of a drain on that cash that's coming in as you grow, because that the growth is just making your incremental base bigger.
Yep. Very good. All right, and then talk to me about team size. How many people today?
110 people.
Where's everyone based?
So headquarters in London, where we've got about 55 or so people here. Then we've got 5 offices in the US. So Boston, which is our biggest office. Then we've got Park City, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Chicago.
Sorry, you said total was how many? 100 what?
110 people. 110.
Okay, got it. That's great. Now talk to me about aggressiveness in terms of adding new customers. So to get a new $50,000 ACV account, how aggressive are you willing to be on CAC?
The contracts that we're signing are typically a 3-year deal. So we're not looking at necessarily a hard 12-month payback and measuring our CAC on that. We can accept sort of going out as far as an 18-month payback from a CAC perspective, because typically we're signing 2 or 3-year deals. On average, we're signing a 27-month term on our contract. So that buys us more time in terms of a CAC payback. And as you move more and more into enterprise, you'd expect the payback period and your CAC to be slightly higher. So
Sean, just to be clear, 18-month payback would be about $75,000 CAC on a $50,000 per year, 3-year ACV kind of account.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Where's the 75 grand going? Is it mostly your inside sales team or what?
Yeah. Inside sales and marketing. Yeah,
okay.
We do have a little bit of a channel strategy, but not much. It's predominantly, marketing and then inside sales. And that covers business development, solution engineering, and account executives.
Where are you spending in terms of paid marketing? Where are you spending money today?
So we do a bit of PPC spend on that. Event stuff, so big events like the TSIA, Technology Service Industry Association, a lot of the Salesforce events. So they run their obviously Dreamforce in San Francisco, but then they call them base camps this year or world tours. So spend quite a lot on that. And other industry campaign events and things like that.
Yeah, very good. All right, you raised that last round. You said it was in March of last year.
Yep.
So right now you're either raising or you're selling to somebody. Which one is it?
Neither. We're growing.
Well, no, you can grow and still be raising or selling to somebody. But seriously, are you in any acquisition talks right now?
No. I mean, we obviously with Axel KKR, they're obviously in the market things and they sort of put things under our nose that may be attractive. But I think for us at the moment, it's about getting the machine or the scaling machine really working efficiently and driving that hard. So the opportunity for organic growth is pretty big for us at the moment, and we don't see that necessarily slowing down. So that's our focus rather than going and acquiring.
Yeah. All right. Makes good sense. Very good. Let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
Ben Horowitz, the hardest thing of hard things.
The hard thing about hard things.
Yeah, something like that.
you got it. All right. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Well, we've just taken on Stephen Kelly as a non-exec director at Kimble. And Stephen used to be the CEO of Sage and Micro Focus and Cordiant. So I'm working closely with him, which is fantastic. So I'm following him and he's following me at the same time. He's a great mentor.
That's funny. All right. Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building the company?
Oh, building the company. Well, obviously, I'm not in development. If I was in development, I'll probably say the Salesforce platform, because that's been critical to us getting a product to market very quickly.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
5 to 6.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
Married, 3 kids, 3 girls.
Busy man. And how old are you?
17. How old am I? 51.
I was going to say, you look good, but not 17 good. All right, 50, 51. Last question here, Sean. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Well, so I think people often appear smarter than they actually are. So I think if I was 20, I'd tell myself that, and I'd probably have a bit more courage in my convictions, actually.
Guys, be more confident. People tend to appear smarter than they are. Again, launched his company Kimble back in 2010 after running a consultancy. Now today, 220 customers using them, paying $50,000 ACVs on average, doing north of $1 million per month today, growing 40% year over year. They've raised $18 million most recently, $12 million from $16 million from KKR, where they sold, call it 10 to 30% of the company back then. Again, lining people up, signing them up, using things like paid events, things like that. Payback period is about 18 months. So spending 75 grand to get a new customer, 104% net revenue retention, team of 110 in London and the US. Sean, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan. Good to speak to you.